Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about emergency preparedness, different things that are happening in the world, things that me and my family are doing, and hopefully that just helps you figure out exactly what it is you want to do to feel prepared to get ready for the future and things that are at hand. Now, today we're just going to talk about the importance of a home pharmacy, some very, very important type of things to get into a home pharmacy. Really, the video actually wasn't supposed to be about what to put in a home pharmacy. Really, I just want to discuss that there's a lot of things happening around the world that should give you pause, concern, just things to watch, right? There's a lot of conflict going on. And when you have conflict, you have other domino effects, right? And one of those things is when you have countries that are in conflict, there's war going on, and buildings and places are being taken over. That can be, depending on what the building is, can be a concern to people and to countries. And so for an example, with the war in Ukraine, there's always talk about when there was conflict happening around any kind of nuclear sites, for example, just as an example. But same thing for biochemistry type places, bioweapon places, places that carry and hold viruses and diseases, infectious diseases. That's always important. And whose hands are those things in, and how that can possibly affect us, right? We always talk about bioterrorism, that type of thing in the future. And this is a perfect example of how stuff gets out and stuff gets released, right? Now, not going down that rabbit hole so much, but now we have this stuff in Sudan. These conversations came up with the current war that we have with Ukraine, but this stuff is now coming up again with Sudan, with all the stuff that's going on over there, and the back and forth, and how those places that are housing infectious diseases, viruses, some of the most deadly stuff in the world, possibly getting into the wrong hands. And so, we prep over here for the next pandemic. We were prepping for that stuff before COVID, right? And then COVID hit, and now everybody's kind of more aware, which is great, because the average person now, I think, is prepared in a sense of kind of knows what they can expect from misinformation and the news and how things are going to go down. I think people can expect the things that they wanted to have at their homes, right, in their homes, ready to go. The doggy. Yeah, I see you. The different PPE, different stuff that you want in your homes. And as you build your home pharmacies, which we've talked about, there's just different things that you want to continue to make sure that you have. Obviously, if we get into some kind of conflict with China over Taiwan, that's a problem for meds. And so you're having to need to make sure that you're stockpiling all your cold medicines, all your aches and tummy aches and, going to the bathroom type stuff, right? All your gas and diarrhea and vomiting and stomach aches and all of that stuff. Think of every orifice and figure out how you would, different things that happen. Stuff that happens with your eyes, eye sores, all that stuff with your mouth, dentistry, your ears, ear aches, it doesn't matter. All of that stuff, how would you deal with that stuff? For women, all the feminine stuff, all the extra stuff, make sure that you have the stuff that you love in your life, ladies, okay? And that you have that in abundance. Vitamins galore. We know that when COVID hit, you had all sorts of people, holistic people, that were saying, hey, I take this. This is how much I take it every day. And that was either, you had those videos coming out of either them sharing that information to help boost your immune system, to help you fight it off if you did get it, or fight getting it in the first place. And then you had people who were like, take this to actually fight it when you have it. This is what I took, boom, 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 boom. If you remember, there was a lot of doctors that obviously weren't coming out and just saying, hey, take this, but they were doctors that were not wanting to comply, were asking questions, that were like, wait a minute, let's wait a minute, especially when it came to the vaccine and different things like that. And those folks, the resounding thing that was just over and over and over that they were pounding, that I heard in all of those videos from like actual doctors, not holistic doctors, and not, moms like me trying to do holistic stuff at home, right? Was vitamin D, the importance of vitamin D when it comes to boosting your immunity, keeping you strong and healthy overall, right? And so first of all, if you're not taking a vitamin D on a regular basis, you're messing up. Most people's vitamin Ds are not at the levels they need. You can get checked at your doctor. But vitamin D, people say one vitamin, if you could choose one thing. I mean, there's a ton that I like, but vitamin D is probably very close to like the top 3 if you have forced me to say you could only pick one vitamin, which one you're going to do. Okay. A lot of people would be like, oh, vitamin C, but to me, vitamin D is a better pick than, vitamin C for a lot of reasons. Now, don't bash vitamin C. Obviously, it has its place. Okay. Like all the rest of the vitamins. So vitamins, get those. Get your, stronger vitamins that other people don't really talk about. Right. But, your zinc, your QO, your COQ, your NAC, all these other vitamins that people don't really talk about on a regular basis, right? It's not an A, B, C, D, right? But are beneficial and they all have a place. Iron tablets, fish oil tablets, omega-3, all the things, get those things, okay? There's a ton, okay, that I'm not mentioning. But just if you've never kind of wandered into the vitamin section, because listen, there's all types of people that watch this, right? And there's people here that are like, oh yeah, I got my vitamins, girl, da-da-da-da-da. But there's some people that they don't really take vitamins. When you say vitamins, they think about a multivitamin and that's it. And that's great, but that's what they're thinking about. And so take a minute and just kind of peruse the vitamin aisle for a minute one day and just look and be like, oh, wow. And you might be surprised with what you see or what has been put into a vitamin capsule, and is in a good form, right? Turmeric and different things like that are very, very good for you that have been put into tablet form, and you can easily get it, right? Calcium, I could go on all day. There's a ton, okay? But you need to make sure that you get that stuff. Hubby's sick right now, just having all the things, not having to worry about that. So building up that pharmacy little by little. Think about the things, start with the things that happen to you and your family. Start there, get those things, and then build upon that. And then go out from that. Okay, well, maybe nobody has experienced an earache in your family, but make sure that you have something for an earache so that when somebody in your family does experience an earache, you've got some of that stuff, okay? But it's important because the virus thing, the famine thing, that stuff's not going away. People are going to be starving. They're going to be getting sick. Their immune systems are going to be breaking down. The first collapse of anything, we talk about all the people that are going to die, but there's a lot of people that bodies just start breaking down, either because they're coming off of medicines, because they're not eating, they can't find food, they can't find water, like whatever it is, their bodies start breaking down and they need all the vitamins. You're going to need all the vitamins that you can get. Not to mention deficiencies just in, okay, maybe you have food, but there's a certain food that you're used to that you don't have anymore, right? You have no more greens or whatever. Now, obviously, plant a garden, that will help that. But my point is, we're going to be deficient in certain things if there's a collapse and there's rationing and all this stuff, okay? And so vitamins and your medical supplies is going to save the day when somebody's not feeling well, when somebody, you need pain management stuff, you need inflammation stuff, not to mention all of the medical supplies that you need, right? And be thinking about that. If you still have not gotten your antibiotics, please use the link below, use the code to get your $10 off and get you your antibiotics. If you already got antibiotics and, you guys can afford it, your family can afford it, you can put it in the budget, get another one. Get one for your adults in your family, right? You cannot have too much antibiotics, okay? Super, super important. Pay attention to the codes, right? Different deals come out, right? I'm always going to push that stuff to you guys. If I get a better deal, more than $10 off, sometimes stuff goes up 15% or $15 off. I'm always going to push that stuff, okay? But extremely important, okay? That's just like the water filtering stuff, the freeze dryer, the more expensive things that we say, hey, it'd be nice to get these as a prepper, as somebody prepares. This is on that list of something that's very important to get, okay? And literally could be life-saving because we are moving in a direction of war. It's just a matter of time before we're in war with China, and they will cut us. They will cut us off. And some stuff, who cares? Who cares if they cut us off? No big deal. Could care less. But medicines is going to be a problem. Medicines is going to be chaotic in a lot of people's lives. People are going to pass away from just that. Okay, and get your vitamin D. Get your vitamins. Get your over-the-counter items. Not to mention getting your over-the-counter items, because imagine something like this happens. What do you think our government's going to do? They're going to shut that down. They're going to take everything off the shelves, and they're going to put it back in the stockpile, and they're going to say, hey, none of this stuff can be over the counter anymore. This stuff needs to be prescribed, okay? Because that's their way of limiting it, rationing it out, and only going to people who need it and not able to prepare. So get it now while you can stockpile this stuff, because there will be a time if that's pulled back, China closes the door on us. They don't have that. If you think for a second that our government is not going to confiscate that, take that off the shelves, and either take it and regulate the amount that goes out, and or, you know, say, hey, it can go back in the stockpile of the pharmacies, but it has to be prescribed, right? And it's going to be inventoried, and you have to get a script from your doctor to be able to take. Could you imagine you need some gas pills, and you're like, oh, I need gas pills, doc, like a $2 bottle of gas pills or gas tablets, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. So get the things. Think about babies, think about elderly, think about the things that you would want as an elderly person. If you've ever taken care of an elderly person, if you've never have, talk to somebody who has, so that you kind of know some of the side things to get as far as meds, like stool softeners, different things, baby aspirin, like there's different things, right? So you want to make sure you get that stuff. Get your stuff for your infants, get your stuff for your children, stockpile that stuff. We've already seen shortages with that stuff, so hopefully that was a scare enough that got people thinking. See, fear causes action, which is horrible, but fear does cause action. People get scared, they react. The pandemic scared a lot of people, and they realized, okay, I do need more than 2 cases of toilet paper. I do need more than this of this. Oh, I do need to keep this on hand, right? With the shortages with the baby formula, with the shortages with the children's and infant, Tylenol, that scared parents, that scared people. And so then they realized, okay, I'll never get caught without having, children's Tylenol in my house to be able to break a fever, right? I'll never get caught with that. I'll make sure that I always have a couple bottles, whatever, okay? Just take a look. For those of you that have pharmacies, have little home pharmacies built up, get that. If you haven't started yet, get you an old armoire, get you an old dresser, get you an old cabinet, anything, throw it in a closet somewhere, start filling it up with stuff. Label it, different drawers, different things, and start putting your medical supplies and your medicines in there. Get stuff that you could throw a lock on and lock it up too, if that's a concern. That's something you need to do in your house, right? Think that through. A really good one too for locking stuff is like filing cabinets, like office space ones. A lot of that stuff has the lock things right on it, and so you can easily just lock it yourself. But there's different things you can buy, bars you can buy and screw on that will go across all the drawers. Just think about the safety, obviously, of children and other people that that don't need to be in the medicine. Okay, and then obviously we don't talk about it. You don't tell nobody. You're not talking about when people come over. You want to see my pharmacy, my home pharmacy? You're not doing that. Somebody needs something, you say, I'll be right back, and you can get something and you can bring it back out. But they don't need to be going with you. You don't need to show them, baby, this is gray man days. You're not sharing nothing, okay? But don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on some of these basic vitamins. Don't sleep on your immunity system and the importance of building it up and keeping it strong, because baby, it's coming. Way worse days, darker days are definitely coming when it comes to diseases, viruses, infectious diseases, and all the nasty stuff that happens with that, and all the domino effects that happen with that. So make sure you're ready to go, and that you're making this a priority, because we do not know how close we are to that button actually being pushed and that being a problem. And it will be a problem. The minute we go into conflict with them, it will be a problem. And I know people, will be like, oh, there's still this, there's still this. I'm telling you, there'll be a run on different things, and there's going to be a run on medicine. So anything that's left, that's not regulated, that's over the counter, there's going to be a run on it, and they're going to clean it out anyway. And then it's going to be gone, and then now we don't have anything coming in anymore, okay? So I'm telling you right now. And then if you think, oh, we're just going to get some stuff from India, or we're just get some stuff from, listen, if you don't think that China hasn't thought about that, like, listen, pay attention, use the time that we have now. It's valuable time to continue to prepare and make sound decisions, okay? So you guys be well, be kind, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care.